I've seen the light, boys. I've gone to the dark side or the light side, depending on what you want to call this, but the striker succession is absolutely gross at Star's End. Honestly, I've always liked the striker for many reasons, mainly because the awakening gets, a fucking JoJo stand, but that's like, just besides the point. I've been hearing that succession striker is incredibly good at grinding, so I already had a somewhat leveled up striker. And since the tagging system's out, I figured I'd give it a go. I spent about 2 or 3 days kind of just getting his skill points up at Polly's, and I put him on a dummy for a few nights. So I went from like, I think 400, 600 skill points to about 1100 in about 2 to 3 days. I got lazy and was doing other garbage, but more or less I got 1100 skill points, which was enough to get most of the primes that I would like to have, and holy shit. Just to put things into perspective, right? My Zerker can pull roughly around 3k trash at, I think fucking at Star's End. He can pull about 3.5k at Star's End with just a loot scroll. My Striker pulled 4.3k with the same thing. And honestly, it's been a minute since I've done Star's End on my Zerker because I felt like it wasn't worth it, but actually I think if I remember correctly, it was worse than that. I believe I was using Agris just to hit 3k. Granted, that was like when I was 261, so things have changed since then. However, the Striker's clear is so much more effective, and it's so much less work. I'm not trying to tell you guys to go ahead and swap to Striker immediately and tag a Striker, blah blah blah. Look, there's no reason to do that unless you really want to, but I thoroughly enjoy the class for PvP and PvE with Awakening and Succession. So if we take a look at our trash suit here, I pulled a distortion earring, a black crystal thingy that it's like 35 mil. So just from the disto and the crystal, I made 230 mil because distos are fucking garbage right now. In fact, it's actually less than that because the disto, I think the tax on it brought me down to 175 mil, something like that. So the crystal put me back up to about 200 mil. So just from the disto and the crystal, 200 mil right there. Now I also pulled 25 ancient dust, which is not bad. That's like better than what I was pulling before, so that's pretty good. We also have 4.3k trash, which is absolutely massive considering I did not use Agris and only a scroll, which is really good. I think this translates to about like 80 mil, something on the lines of that, maybe closer to 100. I'm not honestly I forgot what the trash loot was worth, but it's about like 80 to 100 mil right there. So in total, for about an hour of work, I was pretty much literally 300 mil right here. And we're not even counting like the traces or the 28 and 30 stones that I got from here just from weapon and armor. There is an event going on for the charred fragments, and that's like, I'm not going to count that because that's going to go away eventually. It's not worth it. I shouldn't say it's not worth it. It's just, it doesn't count towards the actual grind spot because it drops everywhere. So overall, Striker Succession, the clear speed is absolutely dummy thick, not to mention it's just so easy, so brain dead. It's just a couple buttons. The rotation is easy. If you guys want to know the rotation, you're going into Explosive Jolt. From Explosive Jolt, you're going into whatever LTRT is. I think that's like I can't even remember what the hell it is. I believe is it Crimson Fang? I want to say it's Crimson Fang in the whole combo. And then from Crimson Fang, you're going into Roaring Tiger, and then from Roaring Tiger, you're going into Wolf's Hunger, and then from there, like Rampaging Predator, Leg Drop, Rinse, Repeat. Obviously, throw in like a Rage Hammer every now and then just for filler, but more or less, you're just spamming fucking Crimson Fang over and over and over, and Wolf's Hunger or Roaring Tiger into Wolf's Hunger. That's pretty much like the whole thing, is just spam that shit. And this is the weirdest part about this, right? I went to Star's End pre-level 61 and only with 1100 skill points. Not to mention, I don't even know how to play this fucking class. Like, I've only been playing Striker for a couple days. I know nothing of this character. And I pulled this much money in just an hour. Granted, RNG carried. I literally got 2 of the items that are extremely expensive. So, I mean, like I said, RNG carried. But if we were to, subtract that, we're looking at 4.3k trash per hour with a loot scroll. So, I mean, that's really good. Anyway, I thought I'd just make this short little video talking about the Succession Striker and how well he does at high-end grind spots. I mean, he's probably disgusting in Histria, trees. I mean, he's super good and such a brainless grind. I love it. I love it so much. If you guys are curious about the PvP, it depends on what you're fighting. I don't think, like, it's hard for me to talk about this because I'm not I'm not a striker main, I'm a Zerker main. His movement feels stiff. I don't know how to move with him, and I don't really understand. Like, I feel like mass destruction spam is the way to go, but that also seems very stupid. Backflow, very important, I guess. Outside of that, I feel like Awakening just overall is better for PvP. Not to say that you can't use Succession for PvP, but it just doesn't feel like it compares at all. Not to mention the add-ons that I'm running currently are not spec'd for PvP, like they're strictly PvE ones. So the little PvP that I did do, it really, I would kill him, but it's hard to tell because I don't know if he has gear. I don't know like what his gear score is, so it's hard to gauge what is decent and what is bad, you know what I'm saying? So I won't speak too much on it, but to me, it doesn't feel as good as Awakening, but this is coming from a non-professional striker, okay? So take it with a grain of salt. But anyway, that's it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Yeah, she knows I'm the one. Yeah, she knows I don't need no kind. I don't